The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is a little funny. I actually started the training thinking that you guys could hear me, but forgot to click to get started. So it's all good. We all learned that way. It's fantastic. My name is Anne-Marie Chantal. I am a diplomat with Global World Trade, our fastest designer fashion house in the world. I am very pleased to be here. This week we're having some, like most of you know, we're having some amazing events coming up with Renee Liao, our national ambassador, who's taking the time to fly all the way to Calgary to actually do a power tour as well as a power bootcamp training, which will be mind-blowing. You're going to want to make sure you have friends, rather they're there to support you, to see the business, to see what this is all about, to see the products, to meet $1 million earner, rather they want to know how to save on taxes, rather they want to just take the privilege to say no to you or to say yes to you, whatever it is. I strongly suggest, well, I know I'm going to have people, and I suggest you the same. Every time that Renee came, I made sure that I would put him in front of people, primary for me to learn. And I found that by learning that way, I learn a lot faster because, yes, when people launch is great, but the yeses is the destination. But the no's, when people say no, it's, is how you get there. You cannot get to the yes unless you have the no. So tonight, as I was sharing on Facebook, I've actually came across this amazing book, Go for No. And I was doing some research about that book and find out that somebody actually had already put a PowerPoint together for their company. And I'm going to skip a couple places because they're really irrelevant for us. It's really more relevant for them. But I'm going to use the rest of the training because it's really, really good. That I thought it was very good for me. So I figured that I'd share it. So here we go. So go for no. So first of all, the fear of rejection. So turn an obstacle into an asset. What that really mean is what is standing between you and success, right? Is it an obstacle or is it your skills that you're going to learn? Is it fear? Is this little word stopping you, right? Is no, having the fear that somebody's going to say no will stop you for keep on going. So why not instead turning the no into your greatest asset? Okay, so are you saying no for your customer? Well, here they're talking a little bit about a retail store. So I actually, the quick retail store story I heard many times is as simple as this. We all been to a store. You go in, let's say you go to a shoe store. You walk in, and the first thing that the salesperson come and ask you is, "Can I help you?" Most people say no. Does that mean they don't want shoes? Does that mean they don't like the salesperson? No. Does that mean they're rejecting it? No. So what does that mean? They're just not ready right now because they don't want to be sold, right? They just want to walk in, look around. If it's for them, great. So always better to ask some questions. So I'm just going to skip these two here because really it's the biggest thing is the fear of rejection. I don't know if I can put this bigger. Okay. So fear of rejection is the single greatest reason why people don't make money in this type of business. And by actually going out and inviting rejection, you can overcome your fear in the stages. And here are the stages. The first one, you get it and it bothers you, right? So you go invite, you get rejection and it bothers you. Or there's a stage 2 where you get it and it doesn't bother you. Okay, and then the stage 3 goes with you get it and you turn it to your advantage. And those are the stages that most people have to go through. Okay, and that's how you lead to success. So as for the order, well, most people forget that they need to ask. How would you like to launch your mall? Would you want to do it right now online, or would you prefer to fill out this application? Right? Would you, what address would you like your $500 free kit, bonus kit, be shipped to? Right? Are you ready to start protecting your family? Well, in this case, are you ready to launch your mall? Are you ready to help your family having more in life or having a legacy? Like, you want to ask a question towards making the sale. And then handle objection. Well, you want to emphasize with them. No may not be now, right? So somebody said no to me actually, maybe about a year ago. Yeah, about a year ago this time. I met her in a grocery store, and she loved the concept, and she talked to her friend. Her friend talked her out of it, and I tried to talk her back into it, and she, no, I'm too scared, and this and that. And I put her name in a card, and I use my forensic box, and I see her name every now and then, and I actually decided to contact her last Friday. And by contacting her and just seeing how she's doing, and then she obviously asked me about how's GWT, and I share, my story. And she said, you know what, maybe now would be a better time. Maybe I should review this again. So sometime no may not be now. Another example, a neighbor, a neighbor of mine here in the community. I see her every now and then. She knows what I'm doing. She loves it, but nah, not for her. They all love it, but nobody wants to do it. So, well, not a nobody, but there's some people who just, they're scared. They have that fear. And because of her fear and her self-belief, she kept rejecting it. And I stopped approaching it to her. So, she rather will come to me or she won't, and it's okay. Well, actually, again, last week I ran into her and she's like, oh, are you still doing this jewelry thing? And I laugh and I said, well, of course. Like, how's it going? And, share a little bit of my story. And she's like, wow, I'm just so impressed. Like, you know what? If you ever do an evening presentation, or I don't know if you guys do that, or parties, I'd love to come. Well, it turned out that I told her, so, well, we're having a business presentation with my mentor. I think it'd be great if you come, right? So her no was not then. It might be now. It might not, right? So emphasize with that. Restate the objection and the question. You can also ask, may I ask you what's holding you back, right? Is it the price? Is it, what is it that stops you from launching your mall? So you understand where they're coming from. But never get defensive, right? You always want to emphasize with where they're at. Everybody has a different situation, and we just don't know where they're at unless we ask enough questions. And at the end of anything, you want to make sure you ask for referrals, because maybe your new friend or your business partner or your potential partner is not ready but might know someone, or maybe they are ready and they know someone, right? So when they start giving you referral, you can now help them to overcome that, or even maybe for you to have more potential partner, more customer and client. Increase result by 80 times. This one thing can increase your results. What is it? We all know it. It's follow up. Why don't more people follow up? Well, it goes back to the fear no, the rejection. Which, exactly the story I just shared with you, I saw her card in my forensic almost every single 2 weeks to month, and I'm just not gonna call her. She said no, and what if she says no again? And then I start thinking to myself, well, so what? What if she does say no? Right? At least I've given her the choice, and the fact that she actually say yes, it makes me realize that not just everybody says it's in a follow-up, but it is. right? So forget about it. I actually heard a great story about the funeral. You know, most people don't go to people's funeral, and if they do, it's based on the weather, which is sad. So when you're done, when you have done this life of yours, who will actually think of you as, oh, I rejected them? You know, will you care? Will they look at you that way? Or would you prefer them to look at you in like, wow, she's done so much. She's tried everything. She went places. She succeeded. Because that's exactly what happened. When you keep on going and you keep on following up, eventually people notice that you're serious. And most people that don't get followed up, they just forget about you, right? So the top 10%, 48% of sales people never follow up with a prospect. That's huge. Now, 25 of salespeople make a second contact and then they stop. 12% of salespeople only make 3 contacts and stop. Only 10% of the sales people make more than 3 contacts. And when I read that, I was like, wow, it's so true. I have so many people that I've met, and I know I haven't followed up, which I would fall into the 48%. I also know I have so many people that I only follow up once and didn't know how to follow up again, or only did it 3 times. But I also know that people need more than one exposure, and the closer you put them together, the fastest you will have helped them to overcome that. So why follow up? Well, 2% of sales are made on the first contact. In other words, 2% of people will launch them all after you show them a presentation. So if you have 200 people, 2 of them. How often do you have 200 people coming and launching them all? Probably not that often, right? In one day. Now, 3% of sales are made on the second contact. So now 2 of them have launched out of 100, sorry, not 200, 100. So 2 of them I've launched on the first time you show them, which is not a lot. Now you show 100 people and you follow up 3 of them. Now 5% of them on the third contact, 10% on the fourth contact, 80% on the fifth contact, all the way to the 12. So do you see here that if you commit to get 5 to 10 no's per contact, you will get there. Keep on going, keep on following up, because the fortune is in the follow-up. It's the old saying, right? The old saying is this: the fortune is in the follow-up. So if we all know that that's the saying, would that make it true? And that's proven here. Those are the facts, right? So you would need to keep on following up. So top 10%. Top 10% of the people who are in the top of this business, well, here's the thing, is 92% of all sales people give up without hearing a fifth no from a customer. But research has shown that 60% of all those customers says no 4 times before they finally say yes. I love, you might have heard me sharing this story about I call it the cookie story. You know, my son came from school one day. He's hungry. It's 4:30 or something like that. He's, Mom, can I have a cookie? I'm like, no, you cannot have a cookie. We're gonna eat supper soon. "Yeah, but I'm really hungry." Well, that's okay. You know, you can. We'll have supper in the next hour. In the next hour, Mom, I ate all my lunch, all my snack. Like, I forgot how you phrased it. Something about like, I've been hungry for quite a while. I've been thinking that we would have supper by now, but it's 4:30. I'm starving. So, well, maybe you should have something else than a cookie. Oh, well, what can I have? Oh, I don't know. You know what? Oh, yeah, just grab a cookie. Just one, though. No more. Okay? I said no first? Yeah, I said no 4 times. But by the end, I'm like, you know what? Like, he is hungry, and supper's not going to be done for another hour. I'm just starting it. And yeah, I mean, maybe today I didn't give him enough for school, or maybe he's going to a birth growth, and I don't really want to make him a snack as I'm making supper. So maybe the cookie is the best idea. But I said no 4 times. And then I changed my mind. But it's not really that I changed my mind, it's that I went logical within my mind, right? Because it's all about our emotion first. So research has shown that 60% of all customers says no 4 times before finally saying yes. So you have to go for the no's. That's just makes sense, right? We begin to succeed when we learn to fail. We all love to the sound of yes. It's a positive response. When you hear no, you think it is negative, and most people feel drained. But if no could actually be empowering, like what about if no is actually empowering? Who has kids? They weren't stopping when they heard no. They laugh and consider it a challenge. They, get your Tennessee back. This is the cute face of kids like, I said no, and yeah, I will do whatever. You say no, I will challenge you. So if kids are reacting like this, do you see what if the no and we could actually be empowered? If I actually stopped, like when I look at my life, if I stop at the beginning and I kept going and I still get a lot of no's, where I'm going is if I stop at every single no I get, I would not be where I am today. My family member and my closest friends said I was crazy to want to take network marketing as a career. And they empower me, they drive me. I basically said thank you, and a part of me is like, I know I can. I will learn. I will show them that it's possible because I'm worth it. So here's the model number 1, the common approach. There's you. You can rather go to succeed or you can go to failure. Isn't it this how most of us feel and think? But what if this is wrong? What is the model is really, which is more effective, this approach? There's you. And then as you're failing, you're succeeding. There's an old saying that we always use is learn as you earn, which means you have to go through the no's, which might feel like failure, to get the success that you truly deserve. It might mean that you might have to build again. He's a good example of Jenna Beaver had to rebuild her business 3 times. But where is she today? Did that stop her? Kept her going, right? So how to build your gold mine? You have to shift through the dirt, which is the nose, to find the ore. The people that shift through the most dirt find the more gold. I hope this makes sense to you. You will hear it over and over. It's a numbers game. Well, here, shift through the dirt. Go through that numbers. Go through these people. The more you go, the more you'll learn, the more effective you will be, the better your question will get, and the more you will care for them. And the more they will feel that, and the more they will want to partner with you. So 5 failure level. The number 1 is the ability to fail. So A, we all start with failure. B, the intense desire to avoid failure at all costs. And C is 80% of people never get past here, which is sad. That is the biggest ability to fail, is that people stop. 2 is the willingness to fail. Well, accept failure as a natural byproduct of success. And the fewer than 20% of people make it here. 3, wantingness to fail. Developing the desire to fail with the inner faith that personal and financial growth will follow. To me, it's funny. I read this and I'm like, I don't see it as a failure. So I'm actually not feeling related right now, because it's when you practice something, you don't fail at it, you learn at it. A doctor didn't become a doctor by failing his test. He went through his book, he learned it, he had to practice to get better so he can write the exam. He might have passed, he might have failed to rewrite the exam. Um, but it didn't take him overnight at school to become a doctor. He had to practice, he had to do some, not just physical book studying, but the outside world, where he had to go to a clinic and put some practice with real people, with real, everything for him to be a doctor. Right? So for me, that's how I see failure. Well, that's how I see it. I see it as practice, not as failure. But it's sad to know that 80% of people will never get past that because they don't have the mindset as a practice. They see it, I fail, it doesn't work, I'm done. Right? Number 4, failing bigger and faster. That came to the conclusion that if failing is good, then the faster you do it, the better it is. Right? Do it with big goals that are worthy of the effort. And number 5 is failing exponentially. Understand that massive success requires multiplication of effort. Enlist others to fail with them, knowing that if individual failure means individual success, a group's failure equals to group success. I know I've done some things within this company. I know I've done some parenting side with Cameron. I know in my relationship, there's many places I failed. Like I did the wrong thing. Maybe I didn't thought I had the tools to do it, or maybe I wasn't feeling good at it. Whatever it was, whatever it is, they still happen. But as we are together, we will succeed together, right? Great leaders help everyone in the organization understand the needs to fail faster. So in other words, exactly this. The sooner we go through it, the sooner we can overcome it, and the faster we can move. So do the things, and you shall see the power of the result, or you shall have the power. Because in hands, we can really change the world. So the new empowering definition of failure. So I learned from my failure. Each failure takes me a step closer to success. I see failure as an undeniable sign of progress towards a goal. I have replaced any fear of rejection with a burning desire to make another call. I understand that yes is the destination, but no is how I am going to get there. I never make decisions for others in terms of what someone will do or spend. So go for no. By hearing the word no over and over again, it loses its power over you. If you're hearing the word no, that means you're out talking to people. And that is real key to succeed. No doesn't always mean no. It can also mean not right now. So you want to follow up later. But you have to be able to recognize when it really does mean no. So it is time to move on and not create any bad feeling. By setting goals of hitting a target number of no each week or each month, the impact of each one would be the same as before. Remember when I put that April and March challenge? And I challenged everyone to show as many tours, and the person who showed the most tours would win. And Toyin won. The key here was not let's see how many people you can sponsor, or the person who has the most VDM, launch VDM this month. No, it's how many people can go through more no's, because the no's will make you learn. And of course, after you went to the no's, you want to make sure you follow up, because the fortune is in the, you got it. So this process can help you overcome the roller coaster you sometimes feel in building your business, right? It may depend the positive feeling of each yes, but it will be offset by not feeling down when you get that next no. So did they let no stop them? When I thought I couldn't go on, I forced myself to keep going. My success is based on persistence, not luck. That Easter louder. We keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things. Our curiosity keep taking us down a new path. That's from Walt Disney. Have the dogged determination to follow through to achieve your goal, regardless of circumstances or whatever other people say, think, or do. That's by Paul Mayer. Being defeated is often a temporary condition. Giving up is what makes it permanent. Marilyn Hussavan. Action cures fear. The double your successes you need, the double your failure. That TJ Watson. Are you ready? Are you ready to try? If you're not rejected at least 3 times a week, you're not really trying. So go for no contest by next training, and that's what they have here. I have another story I quickly want to share that I was reminded at some point here. Yes, that's right. So there's this gentleman I met actually it was in February, right after we did our fashion show. We went for coffee, and he totally understands network marketing. And anyway, he had a couple rejection, so I follow up with him. I already scheduled in front of him the next exposure as a 3-way call with Renee Liao. We did the 3-way call. The gentleman was more interested now, but still had one of his same objection was, for him, I have no time. This is my life. This is how it goes. And I stopped contacting him. I kept on contacting him a little bit then, but never really kept on going. And why I'm saying this is because the way that I lost the contact, it makes it harder later on to call him back and say, hey, remember me? I'm this lady who did the fashion show. We did this presentation for you and your partner. Like, do you remember who I am? Well, if you keep doing the follow-up closer and you don't let them forgetting you, then you're even more golden. So actually today I took I put my pants on and I went myself to work, and I said, I'm going to call him because I know he saw it and I know he saw the vision. He just didn't have the time. But, Renee's coming and we only talk over the phone. Maybe he'd be open to meet for coffee, or maybe he'd come for the tour, the pirate tour. So, what do I have to lose? At this point, if I don't call, he's not going to do anything. He's not going to call me. So if I call, if he says no, I'm at the same place. If he says yes, I'm a step closer. So I called him. And yeah, he did remember me. And he was really happy that I called. Unfortunately, he cannot meet Renee this time around because he's super busy. And Marie, I know I told you, and I don't have time. And yes, I believe in this business, and I'm still excited about it. I'd love to meet with Renee. I get that he's coming from Toronto. I'm actually gonna be in Toronto in 2 weeks from now, and then I would have the time to meet with him. Would that be okay? That would be better for me. My mouth was open. I was like, oh my God, that's all he's saying is I don't have time now, but I will have time in 2 weeks. So do you see how sometimes we put barriers within ourselves because we're uncomfortable? So I just wanted to share with you the story now. Yes, to finish the story, he will be meeting with Renee in Toronto when he goes there. It's all set. So you just don't know, right? But instead of not knowing and maybe regretting, live a life that you know you tried everything you could. Live a life knowing that you deserve and you without regrets. So this is what I have for you today. I hope you got value out of it. I hope that you're gonna go for more no's. If you have any questions, anything, any comments, write them down. I am super excited with Renee coming. I know I shared this many times. I am putting it on Facebook over and over, and it's gonna be fantastic. Like the things we're gonna learn there. If you're coming from out of town, I suggest you, if you can, to take whether you take an early afternoon Friday off, or I don't know, ways to figure out to come to Calgary for the travel time to see the tour, because that will also help you to have a physical image of how a tour looks like. Although you might have seen it, maybe you haven't. Either or, at least that will give you a good path to how you can do that as well, and how we can do it as a group together. And we can fail as a group if that's how you want to phrase it, or we can practice as a group for our success. So I don't see any questions here, so I'm just gonna end the call, and I am looking forward to see you this Friday. If you don't know where it is, message me, email me, make sure your team know. Please help me contacting every single person in Alberta and BC to know about this event. I don't have every single person access, so please, if you know someone, make sure that ask them, hey, are you going? Do you know about the power tour this Friday in Calgary? Are you going? So help me reaching to other people, whether it's in your team, your upline, your downline, your crossline, it doesn't matter where they are, because really that will be the impact that you will help others, and can help you later as well, because we do this as a family. So again, if you don't have the details, message me so I can send you the details. Friday night, 6:30 is when the registration open. We will mingle for half hour. The tour start at 7 sharp, and it is $20 per person for luxury consultant, as it isn't in a hotel. Our guests are free. So bring people, and that way it will be free for you as well, right? As they launch them all. So, and then boot camp is pretty close to the hotel, which we will not have access to a kitchen at that boot camp. So rather you bring your lunch and snack. Otherwise, we will be ordering some Vietnamese from a place close by. I just want you to be prepared for that. And this is it. This is what I have for tonight. I will see you this Friday, if not before, and you have a fantastic evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. My name is Anne Marie. Have a good night. Bye bye.